Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Diecast Garage. Today, we're going to be reviewing the Volantex. I'm sorry if I said that wrong. Volantex P51 Mustang, a great starter aircraft if you're just getting to the world of RC aviation. Great starter airplane. I actually have one, and I needed to get another one because reasons, and we'll get into that in just a little bit. And I might go in there and grab my current one that is flying. But I just got this one in, and I'm really excited to take it out of the box and show it to y'all. So let's go ahead. Let's jump right into the review. So we're going to go ahead and get this thing unboxed, and I'm going to pause the video so that way I don't bore y'all of... Well, actually, haha, that was easy. So I'm going to pull this thing out, and you'll get to see a decently good view of the airplane. So included is obviously the airplane fully assembled. They do come, you can also get it in a almost ready to fly, but if you're just getting to it, I recommend getting the ready to fly. So it comes with the airplane, the remote control, a couple of 4-blade and 2-blade propellers, and a whole bunch of batteries and a big battery charger, which we'll take a look at that in just a minute. So without further ado, let's go ahead and let's bust into here and let's take a look at this airplane. Just be very cautious when you're taking off that right there. There we go. Perfect. Then remove that. And I do recommend you keep the box because I have the original box for my first P51. So now let's go ahead. And it does come with a 2-blade propeller on there. So here it is, the Volantex P51 Obsession variant of this airplane. And one thing I am actually noticing about this is they do have that same battery door. And yeah, not too much to go over with this aircraft, but it's a really nice model. Especially if you put a 4-blade propeller on there, which, by the way, if you are taking this thing off from the ground, I do recommend leaving the 2-blade on there because, believe it or not, as backwards as it sounds, the 2-blade propeller actually produces more thrust than a 4-blade propeller. Like I said, I know it sounds backwards, but that's yeah, that's what I use on my airplane. We'll see that. And also one thing, this thing does come with the gear off of it right there. They're kind of hard to see on camera, but there's a little squares there. Those things right there, you just take your gear, you clip them in, and if you want to take them out, you just kind of wiggle them back and forth. I'll show you how that all works once we get to that point in time. So now that we got the aircraft out, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a look at this remote control. So taking a look at the remote control, it comes with basically it's what they call a 4-channel. What does that mean? You got aileron, elevator, throttle, and rudder. And unfortunately, I won't be able to show you this thing flying in this review, but in a future video, we will have a view of this thing actually in the air, which I'm really looking forward to that. So you'll have to stay tuned. So another thing that this thing comes with is a switch right here. What does that do? You can have it on beginner, medium, and then expert. Now, if you're just starting out, obviously have it on beginner. Once you start to get a little bit more practice, say you got maybe about, I don't know, estimated 20 hours in flying, you feel confident about it, then you can switch it to medium, or it says mid on there on the controller. Then if you're really feeling adventurous, you can switch it to expert, which will basically what that does with beginner on, it's got a gyro in there, and it's got a full gyro, and it's got a bank limit on it, so you can turn it ever so much like that in beginner. Whenever you put it into medium, you can turn it at a 90-degree. And if you're on expert, then you can do a full 360, which is really cool if you want to do freehand aerobatics. Which, another thing with aerobatics, this thing does come include with a button right here that says aerobatics on it, and you just press that. What you do, you take your finger. I'd suggest using your middle finger for that. I'm not trying to flip you off or anything, but just take your middle finger, press down on that button with your fingers like that. Then whatever you want to do, pull up, pull down to do a barrel roll, or go either way if whatever kind of roll you want to do. So that's basically all you need to know about the remote control. Pretty basic stuff, and obviously the on and off switch is right here, and then the trim and stuff is just pretty self-explanatory. Okay, so now I'm going to bust into these props, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at some of these bad boys. Alright. Oh, and I just noticed something, I think. Oh, wait. I did not notice this. This is not staged at all. We're going to bust into this bag, actually, because I was going to bust in here to view the props, just to kind of give you all an idea of what the props look like, but I'm really interested to see what is in this bag, because I think they included something new that I did not get with my last Mustang. So, get those down. So, basically, here's the charger. You can charge, I think, up to 5 batteries with this. So you can have all your chargers instead of having 5 separate chargers, which takes way too long to charge those batteries. It's really annoying. Okay, this is a brand new thing. They have included a lanyard for your remote control. This is awesome. This is a brand new thing. I've never seen this. At least I think that's what this is a lanyard. Yeah, this is a lanyard. So you put that around your neck, and you can clip this to your remote control. So that way the remote control just kind of hangs off your neck. So that just kind of sits in your hand. It's a lot easier to remote control other than having it just freehand. That's really nice. Volantex RC, thank you for including a lanyard. If y'all see that, that's amazing. That's probably going to be one of the highlights for this. It does include only 2 batteries. Right there. Just includes 2 batteries. It does come with a different type of gear, which I'm really interested about, because it has this little spring on it. But I guess that's kind of supposed to act as a suspension to make it a little bit easier on the airplane upon landing. We're going to look at the old Mustang to compare it to the new Mustang, since, you know, we have that option. It comes with a screwdriver, and also another interesting thing is the tail wheel comes disassembled from the actual Mustang, which was not the way it was whenever I got mine, but I mean, you got 1 or 2 things you need to assemble. Oh, and also, this is what I was talking about. It has the single charger right here that comes with it, but if I'm going to be frankly honest, go ahead and just use the multi-charger. And then obviously includes the instruction manual right here, and that tells you roughly how much area you need to fly, how to work on it, what kind of batteries it needs, yada yada yada, etc. And kind of tells you what all the modes do if you don't want to listen to me yabber about this thing. Oh, never mind. It comes with a 3rd battery. It does come with a 3rd battery. Okay, I did not see that. Okay, so now I'm going to take this, and I'm going to just kind of show you what a 2-blade and what a 4-blade propeller looks like. So here is a 2-blade right there, which I suggest going on, whenever you get this airplane, go ahead and go on to Amazon, and you can order a whole bunch of these 2-blade propellers. So that way, you know, even though these things right here are super duper flimsy, and it's also got this safety thing on it where if it prop strikes and the prop is fixing to break, this thing will disengage. It'll naturally disengage the prop. So that way the prop just goes flying, and that motor is just spinning without the prop on it, saving you money and also a lot of grief when breaking props. Yes, you're still going to break the props, but it's you know, it's just bound to happen. All right, now the only complaint I have to have about the 4-blade, other than it not making a ton of power, is they're not as flimsy. So A, they're more prone to break, or B, they kick off a lot more. Because both has happened to me with my Mustang that I have now. Yeah, so one of these would strike the ground and just break right off, and the thing wouldn't disengage. But more than like 99% of the time, it would kick the prop off. But it may have just been the way the wind was, or the weather, or whatever, that it kicked off. But then again, it's just kind of, yeah. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back in there, and I'm gonna get this thing assembled. I'm gonna have the wheels on it and everything, so that way we can do an accurate comparison to the old Mustang that you could have gotten last year than the one that you can get in 2026. So let's go ahead and let's jump right into that in the comparison. Okay, one thing I have to mention before we do the comparison between the old Mustang and the brand new Mustang. You would think that these planes come in the package dialed in. Not exactly. We ran into that problem with the old Mustang, and what we had to do is we had to hot glue about, I don't know, we had to nail on a couple of nails on each side to level out the center of gravity, so that way it wouldn't nose up. So that way it'd fly more level and fly a little bit easier than it does right out of the box. So you will have to do a little bit of work to it to check the CG. Basically, all you do is you search up or you look in the instruction manual to see where the CG is, and then you take 2 pencils, put them under the wings, and see if it's going to balance. What I suggest doing is putting a battery in, doesn't have to be connected, and then putting the gear on, and then checking the CG that way. So that way you have all the variables, and then take the gear off, but leave the battery in, and then recheck the CG. Yes, I know it sounds crazy, but trust me, when you have a good flying airplane, it's absolutely worth it to have an airplane that's completely dialed in. Okay, so now we're going to do a quick comparison of the gear from the old Mustang to the brand new Mustang. I am taking the gear right now off of the old Mustang. So I'm going to walk, I guess I can walk up here. So here is the gear on the old Mustang. Yeah, it kind of looks ratted just a little bit on camera, but you can see that this part right here is what we want to focus on. This right here is straight. This right here has this little circle on it. I'll get them up here to compare right there. So yeah, it's not that big a deal, and honestly, I think this is a much nicer gear. But that is a difference that they have made between 2024, I believe, and 2026. Because I got this airplane in 2024, Christmas of 2024, and I've flown it for about a year, and we just got this one in 2026. So now I'm gonna go ahead and put the gear on this thing. I'm actually gonna do a little bit of a how-to thing here. So basically, looking at the old Mustang and just kind of figuring out how this thing is even supposed to go on. And this part right here is supposed to go out like that. So the wheel far out. Yep. Yes, it probably does have this in the instruction manual, but I'm comparing it to the Mustang that actually flies good. So you just put it kind of in there like that. And this thing is actually made out of foam. And one would think that being made out of foam makes it super, super breakable. Yeah, you're going to damage it quite a bit, and you're going to see that on my Mustang here, but it's not going to be, if you are a pro flyer and you just want something to tinker around with, this thing usually, if you'll take care of it, it'll stay pretty nice. Okay, now how to put the gear on, pretty self-explanatory. Just take it and line it up like so, and then just gently just wiggle it in, slide it in, and then take the other one on the other side, and then do the exact same thing And see there, you've now installed your gear on your P51-D model Mustang. Then it'll sit up there and it'll look nice, which is great. Okay, so now we're gonna now to kind of showcase what 1 year will do to this plane if you're a new beginner. You can't tell much on camera, but oh yeah, you can see definitely that some of it's a little worn off, just a little bit. But we have done a lot of work to it, like those nails up there to fix the center of gravity, and obviously we haven't done that to this airplane yet because it's brand new. I do recommend, if you're landing it in the grass, to land about as least as possible, because one time when I landed this thing in the grass, it broke one of the servos, as you can see on the brand new one, and here's the old one. I landed it a little hard in the grass and it broke the control arm, which broke the servo dial thing, and it broke that thing off. But that's why they have these couple of extra holes right there. So if that does happen, which more than likely it will, you can easily fix it. It's an easy fix. Really not too much to compare between these two other than the gear, but other than that, they're pretty much the exact same airplane. Although they have done just a little bit. And actually, now that I'm looking at it, the wing on the new Mustang might actually be just slightly thinner than rather than this wing. Tell me if I'm, because they do kind of look. This one up here is the old one. This one is the new one. That wing right there, this one right here kind of looks a little bit more fatter than the one here on this Mustang. But yeah, but the controller, I didn't bother bringing the controller in because it's the exact same. Okay, so now, since I've kept the original box, we've seen the box for the Mustang that we just got opened. So now I'm going to get this box right here and show you what they had back in 2024. So right here on the side, it can show you how many airplanes that they had, which are these two right here, and then these, they also included pictures of the Corsair on the back. We're going to go ahead now. We're going to take a look at the box for the newer P51 Mustang, because they have added an airplane, but they've also taken some stuff away from this box. So right here on this side, you can tell that they've added the American, what is this thing called? Miss America livery on this. So now you have 3 liveries instead of 2, which that is a pretty cool livery. If anything, if I would get this, then I'd probably get the Miss America, because that'd be just kind of a cool one to have on display, not to really fly. But yeah. So another thing that I am now noticing about this box is it does not say ARF on it, because right on here it says RTF on there, RTF and PNP, which RTF is the way you want to get it, but PNP basically means you got to do a little work to it. There's a little assembly required. And then also you have your original look right there, your Tuskegee kind of look, like the Tuskegee Airman, which I thought was pretty cool. But basically, that's the P51 Mustang. Like I said, you might want to double check the CG once you pull it out of the box. But other than that, it's ready to fly. So that's pretty much the P51 Mustang. What is this thing called? Volantex. I definitely didn't just check the box to remember what the name is for the thing. But yep, have fun flying. And like I said, great beginner airplane. Does require a little bit of work, but like I said, you just got to figure out where the CG is, put those 2 pencils under there, see what the CG is. If it's off, just what you do is basically, if you have another person, just hold the wings like that. Like you can see, it's got a little, like that. It's got a little bit of a nose up attitude, so I will have to add some weight. But if you have 2 people, one person can be holding the airplane with the pencils or their fingers, And then that other person can be putting on weight, say, oh, we need, say, 9 nails. Okay, we'll put on 9 nails. And I suggest when installing the nails, put them as close to the muffler so that way they kind of blend in with the muffler and they look like they're part of the mold. And it's also providing the CG to balance it, which I think is great. Okay, that's pretty much all I need to say about the P51. Like I said, finalize. Start out with the 2-blade if you want. If you feel adventurous, put on the 4-blade. I started out with the 4-blade. I do not recommend that to beginners. But yeah, happy flying. Hope you all enjoyed this video as much as I did making it. And I'll see you all later. Adios, amigos. Bye.